Anticipation high. Fans on their feet. Everybody's clapping. Looking forward to the start of this race. Flagman's got the flag in his hand. Honorary starter toes to green. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing in Las Vegas, boys.
Already see Kurt Busch getting a big lead. He was ready for that start. I'm not so sure about Joey Logano, or maybe he spun the tires.
Logano having to battle Matt Kenseth for second as they come to the stripe.
I tell you, that 41 car, Kurt Busch, they've been on it all weekend long. I mean, he qualified on the pole, set a track record, and here he is. I mean, he tore out of there, and he's leading this race.
Darrell, I got some long odds for you.
Yes, sir.
The leader of lap 1 at Las Vegas has never gone to victory lane.
Dadgum.
18 races. Maybe today we'll break that string.
Maybe Joey Logano knew that.
Kenseth and Logano fight for second. Dillon fourth, Keselowski fifth, then Harvick, Kane, and Truex.
So far, no big signs of these strong winds upsetting the race cars. I anticipated it to be a little bit more evident, but so far, everybody's getting through there really clean.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, once that big rain cloud kind of blew through, the wind has actually settled a little. Watching the flag, the American flag on the back straightaway, it's looking pretty good.
Average wind down 5 miles per hour from pre-race.
I'm really interested to see how Austin Dillon in that 3 car does, as we see 3 wide racing right here in the middle of the pack right now. 2 rookies going at each other.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney was trying to get around the outside and pass Jimmy Johnson in the 48. That didn't quite work for him.
That might be a rookie move at this point in the race. Might well save that for later.
4th place. Austin Dillon in the 3 has been really strong all weekend. He's attracted a lot of attention right now from Brad Keselowski.
I just loved his attitude. I talked to him on Thursday after their test. He said he and Slugger and all the Slugger Labby, his crew chief, all the engineers, they just really put a lot of effort into this car in this weekend.
You saw Brad Keselowski go to the bottom, really make a nice move underneath Austin Dillon. Doesn't seem like the top groove in 1 and 2 has come in quite yet, and sometimes it takes a little bit of rubber getting laid down the racetrack before that higher groove comes in.
Well, remember what we have said every week this season, how the leader cleans the track for everyone. Kurt Busch has picked something up on the nose of his number 41.
Yeah, you can see it there on the right side of the grill. There's a big piece of trash going around. You see that right there on Kurt's grill. That's right in the opening.
We know.
Got a piece on the right side, Gibson, like a wrapper.
Water boils at 212, but not when it's under pressure. The boiling point's much higher.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he said 215 there, right. And so it's going to have to go a lot higher than that. I don't know if maybe somebody had already mentioned something to him about the debris, or he's already noticing it going up a few degrees.
I think with the spotters and the crew chiefs and everybody watching for debris today, I'm sure there's an awareness that as soon as he picked something up, they knew about it.
Seven laps complete on a blustery day. Matt Yoakum.
Mike, you touched on the wind and how it has started to come down a little bit. Brad Keselowski asked his spotter Joey Meyer to keep him abreast of the flags and just when the wind picks up so he doesn't catch him off guard. And it's the benefit of having your spotter also your private plane pilot. He knows all about wind speed.
Keselowski settles in 4th, 2 seconds behind the race lead.
You saw out the windshield there, Brad Keselowski, this great battle going on for second as Matt Kenseth trying to get a big run on Joey Logano down this back straightaway. Now this is where that tailwind is going to come into effect, and you'll see right here, Matt's been running different lines. He goes to the outside, try to get a little clean air. Joey's picked up on that. He's moved up the racetrack to block him a little bit and actually hurt Matt's momentum, and here comes Keselowski.
Keselowski from 4th against the Toyota of Kenseth. Little wiggle entering the corner there for Matt.
Talked to Brad Keselowski, and he said they really struggled with their car over in Atlanta last week. Felt much better today.
Drivers in backup cars, McMurray and Edwards, have moved up the most so far. Vince?
Good news for Kurt Busch fans in regards to that 41. They do have that debris. You see it there, that white piece on the grill. But spotter Rick Corelli and crew chief Tony Gibson have talked about its location, and they think because of where that little piece of debris is, the location is not so bad. So they don't think it's going to be a significant issue, but certainly something they're keeping an eye on.
Thanks, Vince. Kurt Busch has led every one of 10 laps so far. Don't go away. We won't either. They're going to fight this all day with these windy conditions.
You know what I think we will see when we get this caution in about 3 laps? I think if you're up near the front, you're the leaders, you're going to get 4 tires. It's well over a full fuel run. But when I look at drivers like Carl Edwards and Jamie McMurray, who started in the rear, they may roll the dice with just 2 right sides, doing something to try to make up this track position.
You might be right, Larry, because everybody says this tire is really, really good. It doesn't fall off a whole lot, and wear is not a problem, so it'd be a good time to take that gamble.
Edwards is 26th. McMurray is 29th after starting 38th and 39th.
We're in Vegas. Why not gamble?
11th place. Number 11 against number 21.
Yeah, Hamlin seems to be struggling a little bit here. He's fallen back a few spots since the start of this race, and now he's having to deal with a rookie.
Once the field cycles through 30 laps, which will be next time by, we'll see the competition caution, which NASCAR scheduled so the teams can check tire wear and conditions on an essentially green racetrack from last night's rain.
Now right there, you saw Kurt Busch get underneath the 46 of Michael Annett, and you saw I think the wind played a small role there, at least aerodynamics did. He got underneath him, and he went to get in the gas, and the car wiggled and went up the racetrack, got really close to Annett.
Yeah, I think the wind's a little bit of a factor, but you pinch a car down off turn 4 there, you know underneath somebody, you can expect a little bit of a push loose.
As you heard from the control tower, 30 laps complete. 34 of 39 drivers on the lead lap. Michael Annett, who you just saw go 1 lap down, would get the free pass. Green flag back in the air. Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Martin Truex, Matt Kenseth to turn 1.
Yeah, just remember now, Hamlin took 2 tires on that stop. Be interesting to see how he fares up against these guys with 4.
We've seen his crew chief already this year take some gambles. He's in Vegas. Why not?
Wow, a lot of 3 wide down that back straightaway as everybody on fresh tires clawing for position.
Oh, you got nice and comfortable with this thing now. We can go 3 wide, no problem.
Restarts here can get really wild.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky Stenhouse way up high, trying to pass 4 or 5 at once. And that's 17 right there, the white and blue car. Second place, here comes Kenseth. Now he lost a number of spots on pit road, Matt. Why?
Mike, simply the rear tire changer, Adam Hartman, once he started to pivot and come back around the rear of the car to the left side, he noticed that he had to go back and take one more shot at a lug. Those couple seconds cost them 3 spots on pit road, but he's moving back to the front.
Just remember, there's bad blood between these 2 right here. They do not want to find themselves in this position right here. One of them wants to get away from the other in a hurry.
Did you see how aggressive Joey Logano was to side draft up the quarter panel of Matt Kenseth as they came down that front straightaway? Joey does not want to give this position up.
The last thing I want to see is that 20 car sticking that right front fender in my door.
That's them side drafting. Kenseth's coming up, trying to get air on his rear spoiler, and then shoot to the bottom and try to build that momentum and make that pass. And I think Matt Kenseth got close to his left rear coming off of turn 4 when he was trying to make this pass, and I think that upset Joey a little bit. And here, look, they're wiggling back and forth.
Listen, Matt Kenseth, and he'll get frustrated here in a minute if he can't get by Joey Logano because he thinks he's a little bit faster.
Last year, these two had a feud, a car-crashing feud that lasted several races and ended with a Kenseth suspension.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you can go back to all the reasons why Joey drove Matt the way that he did at Kansas, and they were just racing hard. But, you know, Matt, obviously that stuck with him, and the way it was handled by Joey Logano afterwards, I think it's what stuck with a veteran driver like Matt Kenseth that unfortunately eventually led to his frustration getting the best of him.
A lot of good battling all the way through the field, and here comes Kurt Busch. You saw his number 41 trying to work his way back from the penalty. He restarted 35th. Keselowski, Johnson.
Here's somebody, Jimmy just keeps creeping his way one by one. He's got a really fast race car. He's getting position on some of these drivers like Brad Keselowski, but Brad's not making it easy on him. He's really holding them down tight, and that just takes the air off the car.
Now there's that 78 car right there too, Mark Truex Jr. He's getting into the fray here. Boy, you got to be so careful going into the corner side by side like that, because the car on the bottom gets a little loose, slams into the car on the right. Into the wall he goes.
Now Truex's crew chief, Cole Perrin, is under suspension by NASCAR, but because they are appealing that for the roof flap issue last week, he is allowed to be here at the racetrack. Was it that important to try to win this race, or was the test on Thursday that important, why they wanted him at the track here this weekend?
Well, I saw Todd Berriger here earlier, so they're prepared for whatever happens.
Let's get down to Matt for our nationwide Dale Jr. Performance Report.
Mike, for 2.5 days, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the 88 team, their biggest challenge was just the bumps, trying to get the rideability that Dale Earnhardt Jr. was looking for. He was 7th quick in final practice. He felt like they had attained what he was looking for as far as feel, but right now they're trying to work on the nose of the car. They made an air pressure change in the front, trying to work the tightness out, give him more grip.
He was very happy at the end of practice yesterday.
I think those two tires worked all right for a few laps, but where you're going to pay the price is now, when the 4-star tires really start to take over and your 2s start to fade.
And we have seen these tires drop off a little bit more. I love how Goodyear has been more aggressive with this tire, getting a little bit more grip. And the hope is with the lower downforce, it has good grip at the beginning for the drivers to be aggressive, but then there's some speed fall off, and where the drivers will have to start searching around the racetrack, as we're seeing that exact thing happen right now.
You know what Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano are doing right now, Mike, is Matt Kenseth is having fun. You know why? Because he's in Joey Logano's mirror. And Joey Logano is saying, is that Matt behind me, or what's he up to?
And I think this was a great gamble by the 11 team, doing the 2 tires to get clean air, to get out front and see, will that clean air pay off more than 4 tires?
Right, Hamlin pitted from 11th place. He is currently 3rd. Joey Logano, the new leader. "76 laps complete. It's Chevy Truck Month. Get to your Chevy dealer and take home the 2016 Silverado 1500 from the fastest growing pickup brand, Chevrolet. Find new roads." Joey Logano, your race leader at 77 laps. Matt Kenseth finally came in to fix that vibration. Got 4 tires. And Sunoco race fuel back out there.
And we saw last week, short pitting for Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus paid off huge. They had a loose wheel or something wrong as well, had to come in early. Now I know there's a lot more fall off at Atlanta versus here at Las Vegas, but if this thing goes green, this actually could work in their favor.
Matt?
Mike, they're looking over the tires that came off Matt Kenseth's car, and Jeff Mendering, the car chief on this, he pointed to the fact that there's a wheel weight missing on the left rear of the 20. Now Kenseth told his team on a scale of 1 to 10, it's vibrating awfully at about a 7. That's when Jason Ratcliffe said, bring it to us, let's not take any more chances.
Well, same thing as on your street car. You lose a wheel weight, that wheel will start vibrating. You'll feel it through the steering wheel. Now imagine that at triple the speed you normally drive.
We did see that left rear tire was shiny. Looked like it had been rubbing a little bit. Nothing serious. A little bit. I think the bumps are causing that. I think they go through the bumps. Car undulates up and down a little bit. Maybe gets up in there and rubs a tiny bit, but that's serious.
Guys, in just the next few laps, we should see all the leaders to pit road. I go back to the topic at the top of the show, speeding on pit road. Green flag stops. They measure pit road in time over distance through segments, and the segment entering is very short, only 89 feet, where all the other segments are well over 250 feet. So we need to watch these leaders in that first segment coming in.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. This is one of those tracks where coming to green flag stops, you really got to make sure you go back to what you practiced in practice yesterday. We saw a lot of these teams and drivers practicing getting to pit road aggressively, and make sure that you don't overshoot it, as well as when you get to pit road, as we've already seen with Kurt Busch, make sure that you've got the proper speed.
Here comes old 2-tire Hamlin. He couldn't get in quick enough.
I'm surprised it took him this long to get in there.
Now it's funny that 4 laps ago, Hamlin, who restarted first, was passed by Kurt Busch, who was restarted last after that penalty. Matt.
Chassis adjustment already completed on the Atlanta Denny Hamlin. Now remember, he took 2 tires that first stop. He felt like the left rear, which was not changed, was significantly going away. So an air pressure change as well on the 11 Hamlin.
You'll see on the right side of your screen that will call off the cars as they enter pit road. Under green flag stops, here comes Biffle and Truex. Vince?
The 78 of Martin Truex, he said it's a little slick in the back and a little snug in the front. It's going to be a 4-tire change. Also going to give him 2 cans of Sunoco fuel. They've been pretty pleased with the car, just nothing major, just trying to find that sweet spot with it as the crew is over and going to work. They had a little bit of a tough weekend last week in Atlanta, looking to bounce back this week here in the over-the-wall game.
The leaders are in, both Logano and Keselowski. Matt?
The weakness for the 2 is what Brad Keselowski telling his team was late center of 1 and 2. Now they made an air pressure change on the first stop. That significantly helped it. He felt like he was best down in turns 3 and 4. Stop completed by the 48 as well. Jamie?
Joey Logano in the 22 made an air pressure adjustment last run. He said the car is turning better. Another air pressure adjustment and 4 tires.
Boy, and just like under caution, Keselowski and Logano come out side by side. Green flag stops continue.
47 too fast entering. I tell you, there is some action, baby, getting on pit road. Woo!
Matt.
Air pressure change coming for the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Now the first run, he used the track bar adjuster inside the car to try to improve the balance. Rodney Childers told him the track temperature has gone up well over 12 degrees. Jamie?
Casey Kanan, he said from last week his car is so much better. The front end is turning and it feels good. A 4-tire stop for the 5.
Austin Dillon picks up the lead of this race, and now he will come to pit road and surrender it. Jamie.
And Austin Dillon loose in and tight on exit. He was really fighting tight last run. They made some adjustments, including a wedge adjustment. He's been using that track bar adjuster inside the cockpit to help the car. You see the wrench on the right side of the rear windshield. There it goes. Another wedge adjustment, and they'll fill him up with fuel here, put 4 tires on it.
Of the lead lap drivers, only Michael Annett has not yet made a stop. He scored as 6th.
Mike, I want you to watch. I talked about the action getting on pit road. I want you to watch Brad Keselowski when he comes to pit road. How he keeps from wrecking this car, I'll never know. He catches right up to the back of Jimmy Johnson, and now there he goes.
You can see he got his left front tire down on the apron. Absolutely amazing, because he actually made the pass, but he comes off the banking here.
Heading in front of you. Tight. Hold on to it. Nice job. Too red.
That was almost a huge moment, not just for him, but it might have taken Jimmy Johnson out as well. Great save, though.
Oh, it was. I thought he was going to get them both.
What it got him was the lead. Brad Keselowski now in front of his Penske Ford teammate Joey Logano by 0.8 of a second.
400 on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. By Ford, we go further so you can. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR.
Top of the hour, live from Las Vegas, Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers. Glad you're watching NASCAR on Fox. About a 25-minute delay to start the race because of rain in the area and the wind gust that reached officially up to 43 miles per hour. Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano, the Fords, leading last week's winner Jimmy Johnson in a Chevrolet. Michael, already the green flag pit stops a factor, and Denny Hamlin gambling with 2 tires affected him. Kurt Busch, who was the leader, caught speeding on pit road. We're going to see this throughout the day.
Yeah, those are a couple of leaders where it went wrong, but it went right for Brad Keselowski. When he dove onto pit road, that daring pass he made of Jimmy Johnson, coupled with his fast pit crew, got him the lead after that round of green flag pit stop.
So 7 leaders, 7 different lead changes, and Jimmy Johnson moving in on Joey Logano, or trying to, for second place.
This guy was the fastest car in the long run yesterday, and that's becoming evident now. Really moving up through the field. Another car that I'm impressed with, Chris, is Chase Elliott. He's just outside the top 5. His lap times, again and again, mirror Jimmy Johnson's. He's one of the fastest cars as well.
And Chase Elliott, one of 5 rookies in this race, currently running 6th. Another rookie, Ryan Blaney is running 9th at the moment.
What a class we have. Blaney and Chase Elliott are going to race all year long for Rookie of the Year honors, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them both pull into victory lane. There's that 21 famous Wood Brothers car that Blaney wheels, and then, of course, Chase Elliott's getting to drive Jeff Gordon's old car. That's a pretty nice privilege.
And this is only the 3rd race of the season, but Matt Kenseth, who's currently running 5th, has had chances to win at the Daytona 500 and last week in Atlanta, whether it's bad luck, bad decisions. We saw him have a vibration, cost him some time here, but he's hanging in there like he always does.
Well, maybe it's the luck has turned the other way. He had that vibration. He made his green flag pit stop. Everybody else had to make one shortly thereafter. It cycled through. So Kenseth rides along in the top 5 with a very strong Toyota.
Brad Keselowski, your leader at the moment, who won here 2 years ago. And just to refresh the weather, which it seems like it's a lot more cooperative now, the air temperature has dropped just a little bit. The gust of wind, or the factor there, the steady wind, is about, according to drivers, 25 miles per hour as we rejoin Jeff Gordon, Darrell Waltrip, and Mike Joy.
Thanks, Chris. 96 laps complete. Brad Keselowski leading Jimmy Johnson by 1.2 seconds. Kurt Busch, the pole sitter, led a lot early, battled back from a speeding penalty. He is now 17th. Denny Hamlin tried 2 tires on the competition caution. That didn't work so well. He's mired in 19th. Greg Biffle, the last car on the lead lap, in 21st. Everybody else a lap or more down.
You know what I like, Mike? 4 of the top 9 cars are 25 years or younger. 4 of the top 9, 25 years or younger. We got some young drivers out here that are hungry.
And some great talent for the future of this sport. And present right now.
Jimmy Johnson is the old man in the crowd.
He's the old man. I love it.
Caution.
Debris, caution for set debris.
Lap 98, we have debris just past the start-finish line. This is a huge break for Matt Kenseth. Kenseth had made a pit stop under green 10 laps before the rest of the leaders because of that vibration. Now the caution may put him on the same cycle as everybody else on the lead lap.
I think it's also a huge break for Kurt Busch because, you know, he lost all that track position because of speeding on pit road. He has a very fast race car. Now the field closes it up.
I think it's a great break for the 2 car, because
I think we're going to see massive driving right now. They realize track position's huge.
Get down on that apron. I guarantee you they get 3 wide going into 1. That gets exciting. There he goes, Carl. Carl Edwards in that 19.
Almost 4 wide there.
See Kevin Harvick on the outside, really aggressive there with Kyle Busch. Now we see Joey Logano coming to the inside, 3 wide.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You can get on down on that apron. I didn't out of bounds here. That's racing territory.
Now remember that 18 took 2 tires, and we saw what happened with his teammate. And I think we might see the same thing with Kyle Busch here. He might fade to the back on this run.
Vince?
Yeah, Kyle felt like he needed to roll the center better and he needed more front grip, and they only gave him those right side tires, so it's going to be a big run here, big stint to see what Kyle can do with those 2 right sides and that car handling.
Well, Kyle shot the bottom and made it. Matt Kenseth didn't have quite as good luck, but now he's right behind Kyle in 5th place. Johnson, Logano, Harvick, Kyle Busch, Kenseth, then Keselowski, Edwards, Chase Elliott, Earnhardt, and Blaney, your top 10. How about a Las Vegas crank it up?
Yeah, baby.
Jimmy Johnson extending his lead, 1.1 seconds now over Joey Logano, but the driver who is flying is Kurt Busch. Restarted 17th. He's picked up 6 spots already, working on Ryan Blaney to move into the top 10.
Been really aggressive off turn 2 over here. Been getting a nice run off the bottom of turn 2. Made a 3-wide pass there a second ago. He is in a hurry.
You can see how his car's really rolling through the center extremely well right there.
2 drivers that have dropped back since the restart, Casey Kane and Austin Dillon. Jamie.
And this is the first time today that Austin Dillon has been outside the top 10. On the last pit stop, he came in 8th. They were going to take right sides only, and then crew chief Slugger Labby made a last-minute call to take 4. It sent confusion through the team, cost him time, and he restarted 20th.
He's picked up 1 spot from there.
There's Slugger right there. He's a great crew chief. They've had a good car all weekend. Hate to see that happen to them. Maybe they can get caught back up.
The Cobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by KFC's new Nashville Hot Chicken. It's spicy, smoky, and crispy. And by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
107 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson out in front of Joey Logano by 1.4 seconds. Let's take a closer look at pit performance, sponsored by Advance Auto Parts.
Well, Mike, we've talked about the importance of green flag stops, and what we love looking at is a pit stop comparison with teams and the driver, the 2 laps going around the racetrack, including the trip to pit road. And you can see right there, Matt Kenseth and that team, they are a second quicker in those 2 laps, including the stop, than any of the closest competitors. Brad Keselowski a second back, and you see right there Kyle Busch, another Joe Gibbs Toyota driver, almost a second or third back behind his teammate Matt Kenseth. Joe Gibbs Racing, that Toyota team, they're always getting the job done on pit road, and the drivers do a good job getting on and off as well.
Kenseth in 7th place right now. He is the leading Toyota in the race.
Yeah, all they need is a little bit better track position and have a green flag stop like that. They'll be right back in it.
So Jimmy Johnson's your leader, Joey Logano 2nd, and 2 seconds back of the leader. Here's Kevin Harvick. Matt?
Harvick trying to work on Stewart-Haas Racing's 3rd win here at Las Vegas. Now, Rodney Childers told Kevin we were stretching it on that last run, trying to get to a window so that way they can make it on 1 more stop. Harvick said the car, balance-wise, wasn't bad, but 4 tires will certainly help the tight condition that he was experiencing.
Yeah, man, he's been riding. I mean, he's been right there in the top 5. Really hadn't pushed the issue yet. I think there's a lot left in that number 4 car.
But look at his teammate Kurt Busch and how he has fought back from that self-imposed penalty for speeding early in the race after leading 32 laps. He's come right back up to the top 10. Danica Patrick knocking on the door of the top 20, a lap down.
And Kurt has the benefit of having a great race car. So it's nice that even though he got fired up on the radio there a little bit and had to go to the back, he regrouped. And he made sure that he has that fast race car and keeps it clean and getting up through the field, making nice, good passes. And here he is now finding his way back into this race.
There's a look at his day, dropping like a rock due to that pit speeding penalty early on, Vince.
Well, one of the things that Tony Gibson and Kurt Busch worked on during practice, they really focused on running the bottom because they believe that most will go toward the top to avoid the bumps down low in 1 and 2. They said if you can run the bottom, they think it's going to be an advantage over the course of the day. Certainly Kurt has had a car that's worked down there today, and it's because they put so much attention into it in practice yesterday.
Yeah, Vince, he ran the bottom and ran 196 miles an hour around this joint to break the track record. So they've got a good race car for sure.
Jimmy Johnson's led the most laps so far. Still 101 to go here. Joey Logano now just 0.4 of a second back as Johnson deals with traffic, trying to put Trevor Bayne 1 lap down.
You know, guys, I keep looking at these pit windows and these drivers possibly trying to make it on 1 more stop. You're riding with Brad Keselowski. He ran 54 laps that last run, pitted on lap 154. That's 113 laps to go. That means he's going to have, if we stay green, a run of 56 laps and 57 laps. So he's got a lot of work to do to make it on 1 more stop. I think he's the only driver that would be close to being able to do it.
And Larry, I'm not sure he's not doing that right now. I mean, he's behind Kevin Harvick, but kind of holding right where he is. Maybe he's saving fuel right now.
Boy, Trevor Bayne in the 6 does not want to go a lap down.
Neither him or Casey Mears. This has gotten really intense, really closed up that battle between Jimmy Johnson and Joey Logano. And those guys are racing for position, and they want to stay on the lead lap, so you can't blame them. But boy, is it frustrating when you're the leader and you come up on them and you lose that much time.
99 laps to go. Let's take a look at our nationwide Dale Jr. performance update.
Mike, starting with Thursday's test session, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has focused solely on ride quality, trying to work his way through the bumps, especially down there in turns 1 and 2. He said the car is just absolutely loose, very bouncy. The ride quality is awful. They have tried to make adjustments, no gains on the 88 Jr.
He is just outside the top 10 in 11th place. Jimmy.
They struggled at times, but I tell you, they've been really, really strong at the beginning of this race. I'm surprised that they weren't able to maintain that throughout this race.
Hey now, where's he going?
A little extra speed.
Cart's not moving.
Moments ago, Michael Waltrip with Chris Myers help us out.
Just sorting their way through lap traffic, Chris. You can see Jimmy Johnson, the leader, gets hung up beside Greg Biffle. I don't think Biffle liked the way he got past, so he came back and side drafted off Johnson. That opened the door for Logano to squirt through. Strong move by Logano.
And begs the question, Jimmy Johnson last week, who was so dominant in victory, if there's someone who's going to beat him, is it one of those 2 Fords?
I think it's that 2 Ford. Number 2, the Miller Lite car for Brad Keselowski. He is very strong. I watched the times on the monitor, Chris, like the nutty professor, studying every lap, and lap after lap, the 2 car, once they get 20 or 30 laps on their tires, Chris, he's going to be the man.
Caution is out. Debris in turn 1. We've had 8 leaders, well, actually 9 different leaders, 14 or now 15 lead changes, and our third caution comes out with under 90 laps to go.
First driver to get penalized for speeding today. Kurt Busch has pushed his way back up into the top 10, trying to get back to the pole where he started today. Logano on the jump.
Well, that 21 was pushing the heck out of the 4 of Kevin Harvick, and here they go, 3 wide off into turn 1.
Just as I expected, the 41 of Kurt Busch. He's a great restarter. He's really aggressive. He went to go to the outside of the 24. The 24 blocked him high. He went right to the middle, 3 wide. And here he comes to the bottom.
All the way downstairs for that 41, looking for 4th place.
Well, he wobbled her down in there, but he made it.
Jimmy Johnson does not want to see Kurt Busch.
Still with you.
Get to the front.
Coming back to you.
He knows that's some of his toughest competition right there is that 41 car.
Vince?
You know, Kurt Busch told Tony Gibson during that yellow, he said, this is a really good car. We can do things with it we have not been able to do before. And Gibson told me before the race today that their focus on the mile-and-a-half programs this season was to get the car to exit the corner better, because Kurt carries so much speed through the center that sometimes it hurts him on exit. That's been a target of improvement, and they feel like they've made it. It's showing today.
Well, right now he's carrying a mirror full of Jimmy Johnson right in his wake as they work underneath Ryan Blaney, and Blaney is not going down without a fight. He settles right there in 5th place.
Yes, sir. Been running a great race all day long, Blaney, and right behind him is the 41, and here comes that 24 hanging tough. But here comes a guy right here that I wouldn't count out. He's pretty darn good at the end of these races, too. 18 of Kyle Busch.
I think Chase really is regretting getting onto the outside. He made a couple good moves on the restart to get outside the 48 car, but then that outside lane just seemed to not be the place to be, and now here he goes back to the bottom.
You know, these grippy tires, I think, Jeff, you'd want to hang the bottom as much as possible because you've got all that grip down there. It's the shortest way, get the best run off the corner.
Carl Edwards, solid all day. Got a battle here with Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Blaney. Love seeing these rookies up there battling these veterans.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm the same way. I love that 21 being up there. Jeremy Bullins and that crew, they have done a wonderful job this weekend. Remember that 21, they're not used to running all the races. So I think that team will get better and better and better as we go into the season.
He held off Jimmy Johnson through 2.
Yeah, can he hold off?
How about that?
Can Jimmy hold off Kyle Busch? Kyle Busch had a big run on him there.
Oh, look how loosey-goosey that 21 is.
Wow.
He's a rookie. He can hang on to it.
And we know how good those Penske Fords are. This is an extension of that with the Woods brothers, so no surprise he's running as strong as he is, except for the fact that he is a rookie. Looks like Jimmy's going to complete that pass now.
I think that's probably a courtesy. I think that the 21 Blaney said, that's a 6-time champion. I better not hold him up.
No, I don't think so at all. But I think what happened was he was pushing so hard the last time through 3 and 4, he almost lost it.
Well, all right, well, how if he said he's a 6-time champion? Maybe I'll learn something by following him.
Now
that could be.
That I agree with.
Joey Logano is trying to pull away, and he's doing it 1/100th of a second at a time. But on the backstretch, Harvick reels him in. Logano's a little faster in the corners. Harvick's a little quicker down the straightaway.
Does it surprise you that Harvick is running second?
Who picked him in the mid-race report?
Well, you did, but okay.
I just thought I'd remind you.
He finished second, 15 times last year. I think he broke the record for second place finishes. Long way to go, I agree, but he's running second right now.
Who did you pick?
I got the guy leading, man. What are you talking about?
All right, I'm just bragging on you. It's all right.
Let me hit that panic button. What?
Plenty of time.
The KOBALT 400 on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry in today for big spring savings. And by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
70 laps to go in Las Vegas as we take a look at the most laps led, brought to you by Sprint. Jimmy Johnson, all time, 569, trouble back straightaway. Kyle Larson has brought out the caution. This will be yellow flag number 4. And it looks like there may have been some contact between Larson and A.J. Allmendinger in the 47.
That's the 47 down on the inside, and he pushes up, 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 up.
He doesn't hit him. He just gets so close to him, it frees him up, turns him sideways. Back of the quarter panel on Larson gets into the wall, but he keeps it going straight.
They were battling to be the first car 1 lap down to be in the free pass position.
Yeah, they're just really, really tight racing right there. You can tell that A.J. Allmendinger got in there and he sort of drifted up. The front of his car didn't quite stick, and it got right to the corner of that rear bumper on Larson.
Arrow loose.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't put a piece of paper between them.
He was the caution. We'll restart with 64 laps to go. Matt Kenseth gets the jump on Jimmy Johnson. Out of the fog into the smog.
Wow. Look at that. We can hardly see the cars.
You could hear Jimmy Johnson got up through the gears. He got a little bit behind from Matt Kenseth, but boy, he held it wide open all the way through turns 1 and 2. Was able to complete that pass on the outside of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I don't think that 48 car was very happy back in traffic. He loved it when he was out front, and that's where he's trying to get to now.
3 wide mid-pack. Kane, Newman, Keselowski all fighting for position.
Look at the debris, the sand. I've never seen these kinds of conditions in one day.
Saw something like this back in the 80s at Ontario, California. Couldn't even see from one turn to the next. Very similar to today.
Couldn't see Mount Baldy off the backstretch.
Couldn't see anything.
Well, they can see Matt Kenseth. They can see him pulling away.
Boy, Matt needs to win a race. He needs a good run today. His trouble didn't just start at Daytona when he got passed by Denny Hamlin. His trouble started last year in the fall race at Charlotte. And from there on, it was trouble after trouble after trouble.
Here's a great battle between 2 brothers, the Busch brothers. Now this, to me, is why Kyle Busch and that 18 team are past champions. I mean, they have fought through so much from last year, going through all the adversity, and then this year they haven't been fantastic, certainly this weekend, and yet here they are in the 3rd position.
Wow, Dale Jr. with Chase Elliott behind him. On the bottom, Ryan Blaney, and the 19 of Carl Edwards, and in the middle, Paul Menard.
Look at all that action.
Oh, baby, hold on, 4 wide.
Newman to the apron.
That's almost a pass in the grass right there, boys.
Carl Edwards is going to lose a lot of positions right here.
Oh, Blaney in that 21 car, though, he keeps fighting back. You see Keselowski back there in the 2 car trying to fight his way back to the front.
He lost a lot of momentum there. Hope he didn't scrape the wall coming off too.
You know, it's interesting. We talked about those RCR cars being really good all weekend long. We haven't seen much out of them today, and I know the 3-car of Austin Dillon had trouble, but now they're starting to come back to the front. But here's a real battle up front. Jimmy Johnson on Matt Kenseth. Jimmy using that outside line to get some momentum.
That 48 car is pretty awesome right now. Whatever they did last stop, they undid this stop, and that thing is going to the front.
Well, Matt's not going to make it easy on him. He's going to make him work for it.
That 48.
He chose that outside lane. Jimmy's on the inside lane.
Yeah, that 48 is good on the bottom, Jeff. He just hooks that bottom and goes on.
Now we've got to remember, all these cars took 2 tires all the way back to Logano. That's your first car on 4 tires. So while these guys are battling it out, those guys are trying to make their way up there and close that gap.
I think that little bit of hesitation on Jimmy's part, or the bumps, can't just jump back in the throttle and get through there sometime.
And I also think Jimmy, he's notorious for running a free race car. When he gets underneath Matt Kenseth, he needs all the racetrack he can get to complete that pass.
Yeah, he's stellar in 3 and 4, and I think he's going to clear Matt here and pull up in front of him, and he'll be on his way.
He got an incredible run through the center of 3 and 4, and I think Matt maybe had to check up a little bit off of turn 4 right there.
It just looks
either
like
had to check up or decided not to challenge him.
Right? The wind. It could be the wind.
Yeah.
I really think that the 20 is better in 1 and 2, but the 48 is stellar in 3 and 4. Watch him accelerate through here and pull away.
Yep. Teammates, 4th place. Woo, Harvick and Kurt Busch that close, Vince.
Kurt Busch's car has been so good throughout the course of the day, but maybe a bit of an issue now.
It's really tight, bad vibration in the right front, but it's all under load. The right front's gonna blow. Oh, I guess that you got the tire tight. Oh, we're checking.
Now when Tony Gibson says we're checking, he goes back to the pit crew, he goes to his video, and he checks to make sure that they got every lug nut tight, and if they confirm, yes, we got them all tight, they feel confident in it, then they check that off the box. It's something else.
I think what's happened to a number of these cars is it's now overcast with this storm, this sandstorm that blew. The track temp's gone down. The cars have changed a little bit. It's suiting some and not so much for others.
And the wind has picked up. It's the strongest it's been all day. That flagpole on the backstretch has been bending and almost over.
I think it's going to be permanently bent after this race.
Yes.
Surprised it's held up all day the way it's bowed over now.
2nd place. Teammates again, this time from Joe Gibbs Racing.
Just never count out Kyle Busch.
No kidding. You know, he drove last week, I said, like a champion. Started in the back, worked his way to the front, finished 3rd. Today, another really patient drive to the front and get that good top 3 finish.
Greg Biffle makes a pit stop. 53 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson out front. Don't go. Trouble turn 4. Car spinning, and caution is out.
Caution's out.
Regan Smith.
Kyle Larson.
5th caution of the day.
Not the kind of start to the year that Kyle Larson and Chip Ganassi Racing wants.
Well, remember, Larson had some damage off of that accident off turn 2 over there. I don't know what happened to him up here. We'll have to take a look and see.
Now, Greg Biffle had just come onto pit road. We're told he's the free pass car. But let's have a look at this in progress.
Yeah, there's a 7 car, and there's a 42 in the smoke. Has no idea where to go.
Yeah, really hard to say from that angle. A lot of smoke. Obviously something happened earlier getting into the corner.
Smith was 24th. Larson was another lap down in 34th.
Yeah, I think Larson was just caught in that smoke back. You see him spinning back there, and then there's just so much smoke. You know, it doesn't look like it from here, but when you're in the car, it's just hard to see.
And I'm just wondering if Larson knew how much damage he had to that right rear.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
And when he got in there, he tried to lean on it a little harder than it was capable of, and the car came around. You could see all the tape there on the quarter panel where they tried to repair it.
Yep.
Keselowski, Logano. Chevys row 2, Dillon and Johnson. Toyotas for Kenseth and Busch. Harvick, Truex, Earnhardt, Blaney the top 10.
Kyle Busch making a move to the outside to make it 3 wide on the outside of Jimmy Johnson and Austin Dillon. Jimmy gets loose.
Kyle Busch, the best at doing that anybody ever saw,
He's going to go to the lead right here.
He's a restart king.
Look
Here
at
he goes.
What a move.
Wow. That was incredible. This crowd is going nuts seeing a hometown guy getting after it.
I don't know if he's the hometown guy or that he made the move he made. What an amazing move.
That was incredible.
Whoa, trouble.
2 cars around.
Big
One in the
swing.
wall.
Gets in the back
A lot
of
of
him.
cars.
Watch your inside. Block her down.
A lot of cars.
Incredible save not to spin out, but then unfortunately those behind him just couldn't get slowed down.
They were 4 wide. They were 4 wide going into turn
And
1.
poor Matt Kenseth's woes continue.
And look at your buddy here, Chase Elliott. He's
Chase
crashed.
had a great race going.
Great run going.
Matt Kenseth, no luck in Vegas this week.
He's not had much luck all year.
And Carl Edwards was the other car involved.
I think there's several cars that might have some damage because there was a lot of cars that were spinning.
See if we can figure out how this started.
But they get 4 wide, Mike. They went in here in a big wide, and they just can't make it.
20 on the inside, the yellow car.
Oh, the 21 dove in behind him. When he got in behind him, that 78 was on the outside of him, just took the air right off him. He did a great job, but unfortunately, Chase Elliott had nowhere to go.
Kurt
See
Busch
the
sliding by.
Kurt Busch, the 19 of Carl Edwards, spins and connects, makes contact with the 24 Chase Elliott. A lot of damage to that 20 car.
They just got all wadded up coming down here in the corner, and I didn't see any way they were going to make it.
You know, this is at that point in the race where nobody's going to check up. Everybody's got to run hard to get every single position they can.
How'd anybody get through that smoke screen behind them?
Well, they've been running in a dust storm, so I guess a little smoke didn't hurt anything.
That's true. Let's ride with Kevin Harvick.
Green. 1 back. 1 back, half back. 1 back. Closing, half back. Closing, in line, outside. Right side corner. Outside. Going by you. 2 to the field behind. Even with you to your right. He's slightly ahead though. Outside. Right side door tight. Okay, clear.
Kyle Busch got shot out of a cannon. He leads Logano, Keselowski, Dillon, Johnson, and Blaney.
Yeah, you get a restart like that. It didn't matter which lane you start in. I mean, he took off.
Yeah, Logano really didn't get the start that he wanted, and even though he had the push by the 2 car behind him, it just wasn't enough to keep him side by side.
Ryan Blaney, 6th place. Austin Dillon, 5th. Johnson, 4th. Keselowski, 3rd. Logano chasing Kyle Busch. Let's go back to 10th place and go for an inside ride in traffic with Dale Jr.
We're still there. 1 more good corner. Bumper. Still there. Clear. Clear by 7. Don't worry about your mirror. Go get him.
That's your nationwide inside ride. Let's go up to 3rd place. Brad Keselowski being chased by Jimmy Johnson.
Now remember, they took 2 tires on that last stop. The 2 and the 22 didn't come in to pit on that last one, so a little bit fresher tires, not only leading in Kyle Busch, but also in Jimmy Johnson. He's really wanting to get up there and get closer to Kyle Busch as we ride along here. Jamie McMurray.
He's in 11th place. A lot of sunshine, getting low on the windshield there, down into 1. 30 laps to go as they come around. Teammates battle for 9th.
Nice.
Casey Kane's done a nice job of rebounding. He got a little bit further back earlier, but he's hanging in there. All the Hendrick cars have been pretty solid today.
Yeah, they were all in the top 11 there just a little bit ago, and they're all running real good, real well right now. So good day for Junior as well.
The top 7 drivers and 11 of the top 12 just ran their fastest lap of this race.
Yeah, I think the track temps have come down some. It's been kind of overcast here for a little while, and it's time to do. If you got it, use it.
Yeah, time to go.
You got to go now.
Who are the future stars coming up of our sport? You might be looking at a couple of them right here.
Oh, yeah,
fighting for
absolutely.
5th place. Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney.
Well, I'm so happy that 3 car was able to make a recovery. Had that bad pit stop and got behind, had a penalty, but he's overcome all that and run it right where I felt, about where I thought he would.
This is the type of day and race that they can really build on. This is going to give them some confidence that, hey, we got behind. We had some issues, but look, we battled through it. Look where we're at now.
I think it proves a lot of things to him and the team. If we work hard, all our engineers do their job, we can do this.
Our crew on the roof saying this is the worst the wind has been all day, and the direction has shifted. It's now coming from turn 1 diagonally across the track to turn 3. So our cameras are jumping around a little bit in the wind here. Matt.
Mike, shades of Kansas last year for Ryan Blaney when he finished 7th. A good, solid top 10 effort going right now. But what you're seeing is the culmination of a lot of expense and effort with the Wood brothers trying to improve their program. They made the alliance last year with Team Penske. This year, going the full schedule, they got more sponsorship support, and you're seeing it all come to fruition. Solid day for the 21.
Really impressed. And just like Matt said, they're not used to running all the races. That 21 team will get better and better and better as they go into the year. Got a great crew chief, got a sharp little driver.
What a turnaround for the Busch brothers, neither of whom raced here last year. Kurt Busch was under suspension. Kyle Busch was in a hospital bed recuperating from a hard crash in the Saturday race at Daytona. He would not return to the track until May, but he came back with a vengeance, winning the Sprint Cup championship. Vince.
Well, and remember, this team has struggled throughout the course of this weekend. I mean, they were out to lunch on Friday, qualified 23rd. Wasn't sure exactly what the problem was, but they just couldn't get it to work in the front end, as you see team owner Joe Gibbs. But it was teamwork that got it turned around for the 18 as they leaned on their teammate Carl Edwards and his setup, and it really helped. And that front end started to work. The car came alive, and now the 18 is leading this race with 25 to go.
Might have to get the old broom out for Kyle Busch this weekend. Won yesterday and on his way today.
Tell you, a great battle. I've been watching 78, the 88, the 5 here. The 88 was right on his quarter panel coming down the front straightaway this last time by. Got to the inside, but the 78, Martin Truex Jr. is just fighting him hard for this position.
Meanwhile, 2nd place tightening up. Brad Keselowski has caught his teammate Joey Logano, and they are only 0.6 of a second in front of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, they've got to be careful. They've been side by side and have stalled themselves out before, and we've seen that car behind back on that restart of Kyle Busch and take them 3 wide and take that position. If they do that again, it's very well that Jimmy Johnson could get that position.
First 3 cars, a 29, 36, a 35, and a 34. Those first 3 guys throw a blanket over them lap time.
Yep. 22 laps to go this time by. You're watching Fox NASCAR coverage from Las Vegas. 19 laps to go. Kyle Busch leads in Las Vegas. Yesterday, to put it politely, he stunk up the show. The only lap he did not lead in yesterday's Xfinity race was when he pitted. But don't engrave the trophy just yet. Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski are closing in.
Pretty quick, too. The last couple laps, they've cut 3 or 4 tenths off of that lead, and that 2 and 22 look like they got something working here now.
See, Dale Jr. finally gets by Martin Truex Jr., but I tell you what, here's what's going to happen here. These guys have to be careful. They're going to battle it out for second, but if they stay in line, I saw the 18 of Kyle Busch searching around the racetrack a couple laps. You know what that means? He's searching for speed. I think he's starting to lose the handle a little bit on that car out front. If these guys play it smart, they can run him down.
The numbers to watch are right up here. If those numbers are getting smaller, obviously, they are gaining on the leader.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but we still got 17 laps to go and plenty of time to get there.
We're seeing about a tenth a lap of a gain by these two.
Boy, you can just see the gap close, particularly off of 2. When they get that little bit of wind down the back, they really make a big run down the back.
Lap car stays high, won't be a factor.
This is going to be really close when they go by this time, guys.
It's going to be all about working traffic, working the air, working the different lanes.
Another tenth, about a tenth and a half.
Logano's getting hungry right now. You can tell he's getting up on the wheel.
And you saw the 18. They went high in 1 and 2 that time. Hadn't been running that line the last several laps. Now he's searching.
Joey now. Busch pulls away a bit in the back straightaway.
Oh, look, does he have some debris on the grill?
And
there?
legging it out.
Don't worry about it. That's we don't have enough laps to make any difference. It'll be fine. To make him go faster.
Now this time, Busch extended his lead by a tenth of a second. Not much.
He did it all right down here in 1 and 2. When he moved up, see where he is now? When he moved up to that line, he opened that gap back up.
So last lap, Jimmy Johnson was the fastest car, 29.61. He and Austin Dillon, who's 2.5 back.
But this is what you love, Mike. This one, the spotter, the crew chief, and the driver, you got to do something. They're gaining on you. Look around, find another line, and he did, and it's helped him.
Here comes Brad. He thinks he's faster than Logano.
He is faster, and if he can get by Logano, I think he can run the 18 down. He's just got to find a way by him.
Now that lap car altered Kyle Busch's line down in turn 1.
14 to go, coming to 13. I don't know, boys. It's going to be close.
It's only one lap car further ahead of them that I think will play a factor in this. Other than that, it's pretty clean.
Yeah, Brad is starting to look. Yeah, he wants to make that move.
Vince.
Well, you've documented that Kyle Busch may be searching for something. Well, Kyle just came on the radio and told his crew chief, Adam Stevens, he might have a right front issue. Let's listen.
No.
I don't know what the deal is. I've been getting a really bad vibration about the last 10 laps. Right front feels like it's coming apart.
Hang on to her, buddy. You've got 12 to go.
He really slowed down that lap.
But Logano gained no ground because he was trying to hold off Keselowski.
Oh, yeah, but it wasn't as much as I thought. For me, it looked like coming through that corner, he really slowed it down, but maybe he just ran a little bit different line. But Brad Keselowski's getting extremely hungry behind Joey Logano, wanting that position bad. He knows he can go up there and get that lead from, or at least battle for it with Kyle Busch.
You know Brad's got to be telling his spotter, tell Joey to let me by. I'm faster than he is, and I can catch that 18.
Brad has finished second 5 times since his last victory. 11 to go.
There's another tenth of a second they cut off that lap.
They're inching in on him, but that's inching in. It's not going to be enough, I don't think.
Leader pulls up on David Reagan, who drops to the inside. Will not be a factor in Kyle Busch's march toward 10 to go.
Can that right front tire hold up?
Boy, there's nothing worse coming to 10 to go and thinking there's something wrong with the right front. Oh, my gosh.
Last time he was on pit road, Kyle Busch took left side tires.
Oh, wow. Now that really makes this all very interesting. If he's complaining about a right front, did he hurt that right front by getting those left side tires and not getting the right side tires?
It's probably worn. It's probably worn so much. He's driving so hard that he thinks something's wrong with that right front. I think it's just tire wear.
0.6 of a second past the wounded car on the inside of Kyle Larson. And hey, boys, it's a 4-play. Here comes Jimmy. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson comes into this 4 car now, battle for the lead.
They just keep inching up on Kyle Busch. You know, when you're leading these races and there's only 10 laps to go, you feel every single tiny little vibration that's in that car, in those tires, in the driveline, in the engine. Everything makes you nervous at this point.
You got to
Here
hit
he
your
goes.
marks.
Here comes Brad.
Come on.
I think Joey might give it to him this time. I think he stopped him long enough.
Right side door. I need a little. Right side corner clear. Come on, get up.
All right, now it's a different story because that 2 is faster than the 22. And I believe Brad Keselowski might be able to catch the 18.
You know, if Kyle Busch and Keselowski battle, that could even bring Austin Dillon and Ryan Blaney into play.
They're
not that far back.
But what a great day for the 3 car and the 21 both. What a great show they have put on today. I'm proud of them, boys.
Kevin Harvick right in the same straightaway with them, 3.5 back. 7 laps to go.
Oh, wow.
A third of a second is the lead.
You see that right there. Now,
Hello.
Kyle Busch changed his line. Now he's got a new player in this game. He's got Brad Keselowski behind him, and he changed his line, and it completely
car sideways.
It lost 2 or 3 tenths right there.
To the start-finish line, finally straightened it up, and that was Michael McDowell. We stay green, and now it's not seconds, it's car lengths. 3 car lengths back.
A lot of decision-making by these 2 drivers right now because he's got to play the blocking game. He gave Brad Keselowski the inside. He's going to get there.
Yeah, Keselowski is too fast. He can't hold him back.
Well, it's not over yet. He's going to fight him hard on the outside. I'm pretty sure.
Bottom lane, outside door.
Here he goes right down his corner, but didn't do it.
Hard door clear.
Too good in 3 and 4. He runs that bottom, can't hold him off.
No, you couldn't hold that 2 car back.
Kyle Busch audio.
There's more I can do. I don't have it. Do what you've been doing.
5 to go.
And the driver who received the loudest noise in pre-race, and they were not cheers, Brad Keselowski has come to the front.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to hear how they respond after this because there's a good chance he's going to win this race.
Well, and just think, he got a speeding penalty, and they were close, really close on fuel till we had these last few cautions. I wouldn't count fuel totally out of the question.
Or a caution.
There's always that.
So Kyle Busch trying to hang on to second. Joey Logano 4 tenths back of him. Jimmy Johnson all but on Logano's bumper as they exit turn 2. Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, and Kevin Harvick coming.
Coming to 3 to go.
You know, watching Brad all weekend long, they qualified much better than they did last weekend, but then they struggled a little bit in practice with their race setup. They've done an incredible job as an organization, really getting prepared and making good adjustments for race day today and throughout this entire race, keeping themselves in this thing.
Yeah, Brad told me last week the cars were erratic. They were not consistent. He said it's one of the things we worked hard on for this weekend is to have a much more consistent car haul race long. 2 to go.
If there's going to be a fight, it's
down right here.
going to be for second. Kyle Busch, Logano, Johnson all right together and all trailing Brad Keselowski by a second into turn number 3.
Just got to get off turn 4, get down here and get the white flag.
White flag.
1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
You see Brad Keselowski navigating through lap traffic. Clean track ahead.
Here comes Logano. He's going to make a pass on the 18 going into turn 3 if he can make it stick.
Brad Keselowski off turn number 4 for his 18th Sprint Cup win. Keselowski to the checker, down on the apron. It's Logano second, Johnson third by inches over Kyle Busch.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
It's nothing better than getting that first win of the year. It just takes so much pressure off and relief. Get yourself in the chase, start focusing on that championship and winning more races.
Keselowski's the first driver to rebound from a speeding penalty and go to victory lane since Matt Kenseth did it at Bristol in the summer of 2013.
That's pretty impressive that he was able to overcome that.
Let's show you how close it was for third between Jimmy Johnson Chevy and Kyle Busch's Toyota.
Yeah, when Logano got that position underneath the 18, it allowed the 48 to get a big run off of turn 4 and get inside the 18 and use the 22's draft to get to the start-finish line first.
Yeah, I think the 018 car was just giving up bad in their last 5 or 6 laps.
Austin Dillon, top 5, also rebounding from a speeding penalty. Blaney, Harvick, Earnhardt, Kurt Busch, and Casey Kane, the top 10. Brad will pick up the flag, the American flag.
Hold on tight to that thing, Brad. That wind's really blowing. They've got a little system in there.
Oh, yeah.
He's done this before. He's got a great system where it holds that flag well.
Brad Keselowski taking home the checkered flag is today's Sunoco fueling victory. His last win was 33 races ago at Auto Club Speedway. It's his second victory at Las Vegas and his 8th win on a 1.5-mile track. For Team Penske, 97 career wins for Roger Penske's organization in NASCAR. Their first of 2016.
Mike, I don't think there's a driver down there that works any harder in planning a race. He and the
there
crew
goes the flag
together. Lost
it. Even everything they had to hold that flag couldn't hold it in with 40-mile-per-hour gusty winds.
It's pretty windy, and he knows the importance of picking that flag up and getting it off the ground. This is the 3rd time that Team Penske has had a 1-2 finish in the Sprint Cup Series.
They might have been booing him earlier, but they're cheering him now, especially as he picks up that American flag and the checkered flag.
Everybody loves a winner.
Yes, they do.
A lot of pride in that organization that celebrates its 50th year in racing in 2016. Brad will put it all back together, and he will head for victory lane. We will join him there. Brad Keselowski breaks the bank in Las Vegas.
A victory burnout for the 2 car, and Brad Keselowski in the 4. He withstood 38 other drivers. Rain, wind, sandstorm, debris, a speeding penalty on pit road, right? It's his job to go fast. You're supposed to speed. Well, he sped past Kyle Busch in the end with 6 laps to go, making the pass over Kyle Busch for the victory. Let's check in before we hear from Brad Keselowski. Matt Yoakum is with Kyle Busch.
Works with his crew chief Paul Wolf on the setup of this car. They're just really meticulous about every detail. The thing I think's most interesting, Chris, is that they came from so far behind yesterday.
Vince Welch is a victory lane.
He overcame the speeding penalty, gambled on fuel, and celebrates with his team as it pays off. The gambles all paid off in Las Vegas for Brad Keselowski, winning here for the second time in 3 years. What's going through your mind when you're seeing that 18 getting bigger and bigger out the front windshield?
Yeah, you know, this rules package, I love it. It's awesome. The cars, you can be really fast minutes at the start of the run or really fast at the end of the run, and we had awesome speed at the end of every run. It seemed like we just never could put it all together with the way the cautions kept falling, but at the end we got that big long run and couldn't get going for the first few laps, and thought for sure the 48 and a couple others were going to drive by me. Then it finally started to take off with about 25 to go. I was able to get to second, and then as soon as I got to the 18, I saw that his card falling off and mine hadn't. And gosh, thank you so much. Oh, it's just such a good feeling to get back at victory lane. It's been way too long, and I'm thrilled to be here, Vince. I really am.
How nervous were you when you pitted for that last time and you knew you were about 8 laps short on fuel?
Oh yeah, I didn't figure any way we'd make it, but it kept getting those yellows. I think there was a couple of wrecks, and we were able to save plenty of fuel under those. But what a day! I'm beat. I put everything I had into driving this car, and I'm just so thrilled to be back in victory lane with the Miller Lite Ford and everybody at Team Penske. And gosh, I just wish my daughter was here for this, but it's a long West Coast swing. I can't wait to get home and see her. But this is amazing. Thanks to everybody here at Team Penske, and we weren't where we wanted to be last week, but they worked on the cars, came out with some better stuff, and boy, did it pay off. So, as my boss would say, effort equals results.
Hit the jackpot in Las Vegas. Well done, my friend. Brad Keselowski, the winner in Las Vegas.